Welcome back to my channel. Bro. Hey everybody, so given how well the last video did, I'm so incredibly grateful, first of all. Thank you guys for all watching the video, if you did. And if you haven't watched part 1 yet, you should, because some of the plant metas on there, in my opinion, are really good, and are quite new to the community. I don't think they've been really shared around. But yeah, I decided to make a part 2, and maybe in the future I'll make part 3 and 4 and 5, or 6 or 7. My bad, guys. So yeah, enjoyed the video. I got 6 metas that pros don't know for you guys, and I guess we'll just start. Okay, so yeah, the first thing we have here is we load in, we see an Australia round, obviously because we have the all white lines. Notice that we're driving left is the front of the car, and sun would be north. I mean, it's east here, not that helpful here, but the plant here that is important, it's quite a niche one, I would say, is this one right here, which is Excocaria parvifolia, I think it's called. It doesn't have a colloquial name, so I just call it the freaky tree because it kind of looks like really freaky. Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe a little bit. The branches, the leaves, I guess, have these really small, intricate-looking like protrusions coming off of it that give it this kind of really like spooky look, almost like maybe like some sort of moss or something growing on it. But yeah, all the leaves just look like this, and that's what makes this tree unique. And if you have this, it's mostly found, or I've only actually seen it around the town of Gregory here in northern Queensland, and can be a really good meta to get kind of this area up here, south of this Gulf of Carpentaria, I think. But yeah, around the town of Gregory, so I just remember it as like Gregory Freaky Tree. These guys are here. Those over there as well. This one, that one. Not those ones, you call it this. Yeah, we've got some over there as well, as you can see. Yeah, all those are freaky trees you can see there. Those are a little freaky. That one's a little freaky. That one's also a little freaky. So yeah, Gregory Freaky Tree. Yeah, mostly around Gregory. You can get it just along this road. I think on this road a little bit as well. But yeah, should be around town of Gregory here. Okay, next thing we have here is a South Africa location. We have the sun north, yellow outer lines, obviously, you'll know that if you're watching this video. And the plant meta in question here are these guys right here, the nabooms. There are 2 main ones that look like this, honey and river nabooms, and they have sort of this. They almost sort of look like monkey puzzle trees, kind of. They have this sort of trunk that's very tree-like. And I think in part 1 I also talked about another euphorbia, which was called green Noors, and those grew from the ground and had kind of a similar look, but instead these ones are on trunks, and they have branches as well. So they branch off of a main trunk, and on the top of them they have the euphorbia look, where it kind of looks like, again, like noodly green looking cacti that I discussed in part 1 with green Noors, except again these are in tree forms and have branches off of them that curve upwards like this. So again, there are two main species that look very similar to this, and that's the honey and river naboom, and both of them are by far the most common, again, northeast of Gabera. Green Noors was, I think, mostly north of Gabera, and then sometimes a little bit more further east. These nabooms are mostly northeast, so mostly around Makanda, maybe even a bit further east towards East London as well, but basically just around this area. You do want to be careful because there are some other euphorbia species that aren't branched, so they'll just look like, I don't know, they'll look like they're just not branched. I'll maybe put a picture of it up just to kind of as a cautionary tale, because those are mostly found in Limpopo. So obviously you don't want to go Port Elizabeth on Limpopo, so just good to know. But again, these are the nabooms, and when you see them, again, like they're all over the hills here, kind of look like monkey puzzle trees. You do want to go around northeast of Gabera here. Yep. And the next one here, we are in Brazil, as we can tell with the... I mean, soil's not that red here, but you'll probably know it's Brazil. This house, blue water tank, obviously. But the plant in question, you can probably guess, it's these ones. I would say this plant meta is actually fairly well known in the community. I just decided to put it in this video because I feel like for some reason people don't know it well enough because it's not on Plonket for whatever reason. I don't know why. Yeah, the Plonket plant metas a lot of the times are really bad, I would say, or untrustworthy, the distributions at least. This one should definitely be on Plonket. I don't know why it isn't. So this is called the Oricuri palm, colloquially known as the Baya palm in the GeoGuessr community, because it is by far the most common in Baya. And they just kind of have this almost like date palm look. The way you see these fronds are kind of the strands of the leaf of the branch here are really thin, far apart from each other, and that leaves a lot of space that you can like see through. Very similar to a date palm frond that maybe I'll put up on the screen right now, compared to like other different palm branches like fan palms or even like oil palms. They look very different to these branches. As well as they have a very dense core, so I would say they have a lot of like dead fronds here in the middle that you can just see kind of dry sections here that have a really, they're just in the middle, it's just got really bulky feel to it. That's how I would describe it. Like you see this one here, right here, a lot of dead branches over here that make a really like thick core, and then again we have the date palm fronds at the top. So yeah, that's how you would identify the Oricuri palm or the Baya palm. And as for distribution, it is again, as the name suggests, by far the most common in the Brazilian state of Baya. You can also find it very commonly in around Garanhuns here in eastern Pernambuco. And the northernmost stretch that is probably found is Paraíba. Maybe further north than that, but most of the time you don't want to go north of Paraíba when you have this palm. But again, mostly in Baya, out to here as well. Very common here around Garanhuns, so basically just like this, up to Paraíba. And I'll put a picture up of the distribution as well, just so it's easier to visualize, but I'll just be clicking Baya here. There we go. The next round here, we have another Brazilian palm meta, and this is actually not, this is a palm that is not native to Brazil. It's the African oil palm right here, as you can see. This is actually a lock that I got recently that I 5K'd, and I just kind of thought I would show it because I don't know, guess I want to flex my own guess, I don't know, man. But yeah, African oil palms, they're just actually just absolutely massive palms. You see them a lot in Nigeria, so if you have clicked around Nigeria or you've just seen them in Nigeria before, they're the same ones. They're very large oil palms, and they're not grown in farms. So if you see normal oil palms in farms in Brazil, like lined up in a row, like how you would see in like Indonesia and Malaysia and whatnot, most of the time that happens in around Belém in northeast Para. But when you have these African oil palms that are just kind of like random, they just kind of stand in out of the landscape. It's not supposed to be like farmed. It's not supposed to be there. It just kind of looks very like standalone. Just like, why the hell is the palm even there? Type of thing. Then you're looking at an African oil palm, and again, they're just massive palms. Branches are very spaced apart. You see what I mean? They kind of leave a lot of space in between the different branches here, and they just kind of look really, they look like they take up a lot of space, is maybe the best way to describe it here. So again, African oil palm in Brazil is mostly all over the east coast here, like this kind of, and I've seen it a lot around east coast of Baya, and this is where this lock is. So small cam, very red soil, African oil palm. We know it's the east coast and doesn't feel too northeast here with the vegetation, so the best guess here is probably just going to be on the east coast of Baya, and you do get small cam there. So with this landscape and that palm, probably a good send on this coast. But again, you can find it up until northeast and down around here as well. So East Coast meta, but yeah, was Baya there. Alright, the next round here, we have a New Zealand round. The plant meta in question is bamboo. So this is actually, there are two parts I want to describe here. So I guess the first part, the more high yield part of the meta, I would say, is bamboo in general. So if you see bamboo in general, just if it's like standing up straight, if it's clustered, you'll just know it's bamboo because it just looks like bamboo. When you know you're in New Zealand and you see bamboo just kind of like standing upright in a bunch, you know, then you should it's mostly found in Northland, and believe it's found a little bit in Auckland as well. I'll just pull up a picture of the distribution. But yeah, most of the time it will be Northland. And for the niche part of the bamboo meta is, if you look at these, we have these kind of bamboo like hedgerows almost. They line the road. Honestly, if you're not paying too much attention, you can they kind of just pass as just being normal bush hedgerows. But if you zoom in closer, you'll realize it actually is bamboo. Like this, as you can see, is bamboo, but it lines the road like a hedgerow. Really interesting looking, to be honest. And if you have that, then that is very common around the town of Waiuku, which is kind of on the border here of Auckland and Waikato, which is where this lock is. But so if you see these kind of bamboo hedgerows, then you should just go around this region. And if you have bamboo in general, not necessarily in hedgerows, but just like bunched together, standing upright, growing really tall and stuff, most likely to be Northland. So again, we have the hedgerows here, so I'm just gonna go Waiuku. There we go. And the last meta here, I have a Europe one for you guys. Just maybe help with Mediterranean roulette, I suppose, because that is very tricky for a bunch of people, though, I would say. So, I mean, a lot of you will probably know this is Spain already, but I chose this lock just because we have so much of it. So we have this flowering bush species. This is called yellow bridal broom. And you can just kind of take a look at it here. Probably seen it around before. They just look like paintbrushes, like with green tips. Sometimes they're a little bit yellow tinted as well. And during certain seasons, they do flower, so they have like yellow flowers covering it. But a lot of the times, they'll just look like paintbrushes, like green paintbrushes with like, you know, just very brushy looking. They'll look like grass a lot of the time as well, but they're not grass. They're flowering bushes. But again, very, very distinct look. And yeah, you can see them all over this round here. I'll just pull up another picture of it just so you can see what it's like when it's not covering the entire lock, I guess. And yeah, yellow bridal broom, as I mentioned, and is only found on the Iberian Peninsula. So, if you're in Italy, Spain 50-50 for whatever reason, and you see yellow bridal broom, the green paintbrush, do not go Italy, you should go Spain. In terms of region guessing, is a little bit iffy, but is very heavily concentrated around the Spanish region of Extremadura, and I would say is a pretty good hint for that if you have a lot of it. If you have a lot of this yellow bridal broom, may be indicative of the region of Extremadura, or the surrounding regions, so maybe South Castilla y León, North Andalusia, West Castilla-La Mancha, etc. But again, you can find it all over the Iberian Peninsula, so you get it a lot in Portugal as well, and all over the rest of Spain. But yeah, again, for region guessing purposes, if you want to use it, Extremadura, and in general, Iberian Peninsula. Just gonna go Extremadura here, because look how much there is all over the round. And there we go. Get a free 5k here. And yeah, those are all the metas for today. Hey, thank you all for watching. If you made it to the end, I do appreciate you a lot. And yeah, if you want to hear more or learn about more plant metas in the future, do feel free to drop a subscribe or like the video. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys.